Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I'm glad you're all here. Everybody should be up. Thanks, Joe Isabella. So today is a little bit different video. I say that before every video because hopefully they're all a little bit different. But before I get started, what's not different is I do want to thank the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I do want to thank any of you who found your way in here to check out my knife, my EDC content. Thank you. Today I'm going to do a little run through of my top 10 current small fifth pocket carry knives that are in my collection. Smaller knives that I either use for primarily Slurpee savers and box openers, like this little USA made Kershaw. I think it's a Launch 9 that I put a little custom skull clip on to kind of snazz it up. But it's a really snappy little USA made knife. If I'm not mistaken, this is back when ProTech was still making the automatics for Kershaw. I could be wrong, but it's CPM 154 on the blade. It's a little bitty small, like little small poker that I've messed with the blade. I've sharpened it more times than I care to admit. It's 5 inches overall with about a right under 2-inch blade, over 1 3/4 inches, under 2 inches. Single action, or single action, automatic, out the side. Nice little neutral handle that keeps you from going up on it. And it's more of a little poker knife, right? Got a thick grind, only sharp on one side. Great little knife. And that'll be kind of number 11 because I can never keep it to just 10. But coming in at number 10 for fifth pocket carry knives, I really like this little BladeHQ Dapper, BladeHQ Vox Dapper. I think it's Vox. It's made over in Italy, M390. It is a BladeHQ exclusive that I would have never tried out had it not been for my buddy ENG EDC mentioning what a delightful flipper and what a delightful action it has. So I've got a lot of giant mouths, a lot of ace style knives that are in a very similar micarta, and this knife looks very, very similar to a lot of those knives, and it operates and is built with a lot of the jimping in the same places. However, I'm pretty sure it came from the same factory or same area, but it's a different branded knife, right? It's a BladeHQ exclusive. It is called the Dapper. I don't think you can still get these on the regular market, but it's a really small, nice, I don't know what kind of blades you call that, a drop point? Not really a recurve, but it does have a nice belly and a nice area that traps that material. So yeah, you call it kind of a clip point, drop point, liner lock knife that has extremely good action, very low profile in the pocket, nice back spacer, nice reversible clip, lanyard area, small, low profile flipper, and a nice wire clip that makes it go in and out of the fifth pocket or any pocket just great. And this little guy is going to come in a little bit larger. It's going to come in right at, we'll say, a little bit over 6 inches. And just kind of as our standard comparison, we'll just have our Sharpie out here to look at. So it's going to be about a 1/2 inch, maybe an inch larger than a Sharpie. Moving on, we come to one of the first premium knives I picked up when I started collecting. And this was probably one of my first Benchmades. This is the Benchmade Mel Pardue Mini Griptilian with the spider hole or the blade hole, not the thumb studs. They made this in 2 different blade styles. Tell you a story. I was with Dark Gravity and his son, and we were standing outside Blade Show, and a fella came up and borrowed a cigarette from Dark Gravity. Really nice younger guy. We talked to him for a while. He turned out to be Mel Pardue's grandson. Really nice guy, a very accomplished maker of his own. He had a really nice knife he was showing us and had a booth. But this knife is fantastic. Again, it is kind of old school for me. These aren't in availability anymore, but I really like this knife. It is very kind of muted G10 in terms of the texturing being kind of light. I've also got another knife I'll show you that's very similar, but this is the upgraded Griptilian model in 20 CV, has the spider hole on the blade, has the Melpardu blade, which is kind of that sheep's foot, and instead of S30V, again, it's 20 CV. And I really, really like this knife. It's a small little guy. I think it comes in, what do we say? Right around 6 3/4 inches. So it's a little bit on the larger size, but still a great mini knife, great fifth pocket carry knife. And not too different from it, we have our Ritter Hogue RSK1 Mini, or MK1 Mini. And you'll notice these have very similar body styles to the older Griptilian. Doug Ritter was very instrumental in designing the Griptilian. So when you look at the original blade styles and you look at the body of the Griptilian and the way it was put together, that was Doug and Benchmade's collaboration. Well, Benchmade and Doug at some point decided to no longer collaborate, and Doug took his design to Hogue, and they did an exclusive with Knife Works to bring this little knife, or the full-size version, its big brother, to market. And this knife, to me, really punches above the belt of the Griptilian for a couple of reasons. One is, in its standard variation, at the time at about $150, you got 20 CV, you didn't get S30V. You've got much better textured scales, in my opinion. They're not sharp, but they're very grippy. You've got much stronger liners and spring, and just an overall better feeling action. Grippier thumb studs. I think you've got better jimping on the blade. Personally, for me, this little Ritter Hogue excels in all the areas that the Benchmade might have fallen a little bit short. And again, it's just a beefier knife, still in a very small package. The exact same, I'm guessing, 6 3/4 inches for this little guy. Right under 7. But a great stonewash blade, very snappy axis lock, and just a fine little specimen. It also comes standard with a deep carry clip, which I think is kind of nice. So moving on, we come to the first Wee knife in my collection. It came with black G10 scales. My brother, Stevie Wonder Woman at the time, now he goes by said Stevie, was kind enough to send these scales out to me because he wasn't using them at the time. And these are the Mars Kitty scales, the first scales that NAF put out, KNF if I'm not mistaken, Ben. And this is Ben's little design knife. And this knife, I was totally bought into the hype from all the BladeHQ videos. And following Ben, I was a big fan. This is maybe my first influencer knife buy, i.e. someone who was looking at a lot of knives who wanted to design a knife. And I really, really like this knife. I think history's kind of told the tale that the Banter is a great knife. Now they have the big Banter. They have the CIV Baby Banter. It's a liner lock, 20 CV, thumb studs, super snappy action. I love the black wash blade. It's held up like a dream. Deep carry clip. Just an absolute winner. I've got little flying bugs coming around here. But I love the lanyard hole. I love the scales. It's kind of a forever knife for me because of the scales and because it's the first Wee I ever really bought. And I love it. It's a very neutral, knifey knife. So if we were going to measure this guy, it would come in right at 6.5 inches. With a 3-inch blade, which has always been Ben's thing, longer than your finger. He's got WUG, what's up guys, on the blade. S35VN blade steel. Really well done. I love this little knife. And this is the Wee Banter with the Space Kitty scales. And moving along, we come to its little brother. And this is the CIV Baby Banter. So the CIV Baby Banter is a smaller version of the Banter, but not in grip at all. So you're not losing anything in what you're able to grip on this knife. Where you've lost your difference is you've got a 2 1/4 inch cutting edge there. You've got, say, 1 5/8 there. Your blade is a little over 2 1/2. And here it's right under 3. So right under 2 1/2. That's where your difference is. Because you've got this forward-facing choil. I actually took my Baby Banter and got some skiff thick washers, and now it's running on thick skiff washers. So it's not on bearings like it came. It's running on washers. So I think it's a neat feel. It really changed the dynamic of the little Banter. This is one of my favorite small knives. It stays on my table. I use it as a size comparison knife all the time. It is a paper shredder. It's a package shredder. It could probably, let's get a fresh piece of paper. See if it needs to be sharpened. I don't think it does. I think it's still very, very slicey. It could probably use to run over the strop, but it's usually me just hitting the choil. But this is a CIV Baby Banter, the Wee Banter's little brother. Just another rendition of a very popular knife. Much more economical package. I think they're around 60 bucks. This is the micarta with deep carry wee clip. Just a great little knife. Gets a lot of use, and I'm a big fan. Moving on, we come to an absolute winner. I've had this knife in the black G10 with the red thumb studs. I've had it in the full-size Nightshade TH, but this is the Vosteed Mini Nightshade, the CountyCom exclusive in Ultim. It's about a 1.6 ounce knife. Got adjustable bar lock springs. It is very, very snappy. It's got that shilling cutter style blade, which is a tall, thin, flat grind that is 100% therapeutically approved for cutting up coupon books, for cutting up cardboard, for cutting up anything you want to cut up, because it is just a keen little cutter. It goes in your fifth pocket, your primary pocket, wherever you want it, effortlessly. Has a reversible clip. It is a deep carry clip. The Ultim has some very, very light detailed milling, so you do have some grip. I've never been a huge Ultim fan, but I really like the Ultim on this particular knife because you can see the dainty skeletonization. You've got this full back spacer, again, adjustable bar lock springs. You've got Vosteed on one side, you've got the blade steel 14C28N on the other, and then you've got your number. It's a numbered series. This one I want to say is 258, 256 out of 500. It's a series of 500, and these are available. And this is a tiny little knife, but in the scheme of our minis, it's going to come in at about 6 1/4 inches, a little over 6 1/4, with a right under 2 3/4 inch blade, 2 1/2 inch cutting area, but a very generous 4 inch from this cutting choil or sharpening choil to this back of the handle here. And you do have a very nice sharpening choil, very snappy action, great little knife, and this is the Vosteed Mini Nightshade. Moving on, this knife just got a scale upgrade not too long ago, or a scale re-upgrade. It had pink scales on it. This is my S45VN, USA made, Spyderco Little Native Breast Cancer Awareness Edition. It is a fantastic little fifth pocket carry knife that's very small, but has a tall, flat ground, leafy blade. Like Spyderco, very generous finger choil, has the compression lock, reversible wire clip. I put some sharp dress micarta scales on it. It is therapeutically slicey. It kind of reminds me of a mini shaman, except it's got a much thinner blade stock. Just an absolute laser beam. This knife's probably one of the sharpest knives on this list by a long shot. I love the S45VN steel. I love the drop action. I love the centered blade. It is going to measure in right at right under 6 inches, like just a tad under 6 inches, with a 2.5 inch blade, with a 2 inch cutting area, but a very generous 3 3/4 inches from this choil right here to right back here. That's 3 3/4 inches, which gives you quite a bit of room. And then again, with that compression lock, it is very snappy. Great ergos, very comfortable in hand, whether you carry it as a primary or as a 5th pocket carry. This is definitely one of my favorites, and that's the Spyderco Little Native. Moving on, we come to a newer knife that I've been checking out that I am loving. I've always been a fan of the Vosteed Raccoon. You guys who follow the channel have seen that Lefty sent me one early on that was a button lock. I bought a Warncliffe to check it out when it came out, or the Cleaver I think they call it. Vosteed sent me a G10 one with the bar style lock. And then they just sent me this little Raccoon Cub. I called it the kit at first because that's what they call a baby raccoon, a kit. It is a thumb stud, liner lock, little front flipper that operates very well. This is a blacked out G10 and blacked out 14C 28N blade. It is very easy to reverse flick, very easy to thumb flick, very easy to top flick, has deliciously comfortable ergonomics, and is therapeutically slicey. It's got that tall, flat ground, leafy style blade. This is slicey as anything in this list, or in this grouping. You've got really nice jimping in a couple of places here on the blade. You've got this really nice finger choil, sharpening choil, reversible clip, deep carry clip, drop shut, bearing action, snappy detent, and just a fantastic little 5th pocket carry knife. I can't stress it enough. It is that good. It is going to come in right under 5 3/4. It's going to have a blade that's going to be under 2.5. The cutting edge is going to be 2 inches. And if we go from the back of the knife to the choil, you're at 3 3/4 inches. So 3 3/4 inches from here to here. I can get a very comfortable grip on it. But again, drop shut action, fantastic front flipper action, great reverse flick action, just a neat little knife. I give it 10 out of 10. Love it, very economical, and it is the Vosteed Raccoon Cub. So moving on, we have a couple left. We've got, whoops, I failed it. We have got my titanium. It also has some other scales, but I keep the titanium on it. Magnut TRM Nerd. The TRM Nerd is one of my all-time favorites. It's one of my favorite TRMs. It is small. It's got the tall blade, very similar to a shadow blade. It's done in very well heat-treated Magnut. It has a screaming sharp edge. It is very thin. The grind is perfectly even. It has the finger hole, which only because I'm not paying attention and I'm not wanting to throw it across the room. It is a little bit, it's on washers, so it's going to be a little bit more, take some thought for me to flick out. But if I want to slow roll it, slow roll's fantastic. If I want to go old school and pinch it open, it pinches open fantastically well. And again, I can middle finger flick it, or I think thumb flick it pretty easily. It just takes a little more thought because it is on washers. Super thin, super ergonomical. Again, was my favorite small knife until the knife we're going to look at next came out. But this is an absolute winner. It's 5.5 inches. It has a 2 1/4 inch blade, Magnut blade, with a 2 1/8 inch cutting area. And then this inside choil is 3 1/4, and to the outside it's 3 1/2. So 3 1/4 to inside of here, 3 1/2 out here. You don't really have a lanyard hole, which is fine for me, but it is just that good. Super thin, super slicey, super gentlemanly. I really like it. It's a very nice knife, USA made, very high quality, and I'm a huge fan. Which brings us to kind of a newer knife in my collection. I think came out late last year, and it's kind of my favorite small knife. So much so that I bought this one when it first dropped because I didn't want to miss out on the purple cow. This is the Nip in S90V. Then I wanted to support traditional pocket knives, and they had a full blackout, which I picked up that one in titanium in S90V. And then White Mountain Knives had a titanium that had a blue pivot collar and a blue clip. I picked up the black hardware clip to kind of make it unique. It has a stonewashed S90V hologram blade. The traditional pocket knives has a black washed S90V hologram blade. And then my purple Nurple has a basic built satin. Guys, these are deep holograms with the fantastic finger choil. And they have kind of taken the place as my fifth pocket carry. This is probably the sliciest that I can't beat. It's got a very detailed tip that I can really get down there and do detailed cutting if I need to. But it's also very slicey. It's a package destroyer. These all have skiffs in them. They've got a traditional flipper. And then they've got this little trapezoid deployment hole. This one's super light. The carbon fiber, the fat carbon fiber. And then if we look at them next to our Sharpie, they're going to be shorter than the Sharpie. But these guys come in right under 5.5 inches. But don't let that fool you, because the inside grip is 3 1/8. The outside grip is 3 1/2. So you've got 3 1/8 inside here, 3 1/2 outside to here. Just a very well done knife. Titanium clip, forward choil. It's also a great sharpening choil. Very nice jimping on the blade. Very nice jimping on the flipper tab that disappears in the handle so it doesn't impede on that choil. This is the Divo Nip. The Nip Slit will be coming out soon. I'm really looking forward to checking that knife out. Hoping to be able to grab one of those. It'll be the slip joint version. I reviewed one, and also, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a budget Nip that'll be dropping pretty soon. So that is the Nip. That's my number one small fifth carry knife. Then you've got the TRM Nerd. Absolute banger. Great knife. Great knife. Then we've got our little Raccoon Cub. I call it the kit. I think it should have been called the kit, even though only Americans probably would Google that and know that's what a baby raccoon is called. The Spyderco Little Native in S45. The Vosteed Shilling Cutter, which is the Mini Nightshade. And then we've got our Civivi Baby Banter. Our Wee Banter. We've got our Ritter Hogue. We've got our Benchmade Mel Pardue. And we've got our Benchmade, or BladeHQ, Dapper. And then we've always got our little Kershaw launch. So guys, those are my recommendations for fantastic fifth pocket carry knives in my collection that kind of run the gamut of all price ranges. I hope y'all found it entertaining, educational, informative, somehow worth your time. I appreciate you. If you're still here, thank you. Please hit that subscribe button, and please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart and choose to bait, not hate. I love you all. Peace.